Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to episode number 21 of the D.M.C podcast with your hosts, Adam Rigby, the legend, and myself, Cody Hunter. And we're here with episode, did I already say that? Did I already say it's episode 21, bro? Or what? Are we saying it again?
21 today. That's us, 21. It's our 21st officially. Oh, it's been a long time between 21st, bro, that's for sure.
It's been a little while, mate? A little while. But let's just say that I will not be doing a yard glass or shots of Opal Nera this 21st birthday.
Yeah, good advice. Might just have a coffee and a lie down actually to celebrate this one, to be honest.
Mate, that's my favorite, mate. That's my favorite. So how's things going there, bro? What's going on this week, mate? Feels like forever since we caught up.
Yeah, a week. Been action packed. Currently up in Auckland. Been taking part in a couple of things that have happened here. So some filming experiences for new releases, which has been cool. Catching up with people, teaching with an OG longtime friend today, which was amazing. Coffee catch-ups, reconnecting. Yeah, so man, it's been a complete vibe. Super sick week. So busy, but good kind of busy. You know, when you're on a roll, I think that you know, positive just perpetuates positive, and it's just like a snowball. So lots of really cool things happening. Cannot keep up with work. Everybody is busy, which is great. So you're just celebrating that, man. Just high, as always, on life, loving, witnessing the success of others. Buzzing after the last episode because it was a big chats. Big chats. With Sheena Jane, which was awesome. So grateful for the time that she took to chat with us. Super busy, a powerhouse. And just, looking back on, mate, 21 episodes, 20 previous episodes. That's crazy. Cool.
Yeah, man. Cool. And we talked about it a little bit too, because remember we talked about getting to our 10th episode of the podcast, and then we talked about getting to like 100 of our daily DMCs, which again, will be, you know, we're coming up on that as well. It's just crazy, but it's just, again, I love looking back on it because it is all about just that consistency, and it's just like, it's not let's see what happens next week, it's let's just get it done every week, you know. And that's the beauty of being able to do it like this on a Zoom call, as well as you know, face to face when we get a chance, which maybe next week too, and wink wink. So you know, it's pretty cool, it is very cool, and it's just consistency, mate. Like with everything, set the intention and just deliver, take action.
And have support in the process and someone to be accountable to, you know, little messages flicking forward and back between us, both busy people, both doing a lot of stuff outside of this, which is great, but just getting that balance right and practicing what we preach. I was speaking with someone today about it, the impact that these chats have had on my life, being able to process stuff. And, you know, it really is about, if you're talking the talk, then be prepared to walk the walk and lead by example. And I can say, hand on heart, super proud of myself. For the opportunity that's presented itself, just to be the best version of myself, and being able to share way more than I've ever shared before with people, and having deeper connections and taking training to a new level as well. So as we talk, we flow, we vibe, we share, we process, and then we move to a whole nother level. And you know, one thing with talking to Sheena, it's interesting. So we've had our guests and all successful people in their own fields. And one thing, that everybody's got a different way of doing things. You know, obviously the dedication and the mahi, the hard work, the grind, the embrace, the dedication that it takes, the mindset that it takes. And I think, you know, Sheena was a great example, because she's so that tunnel, that focus, that drive, that commitment to excellence, and can sometimes be misconstrued or taken the wrong way unless you take the time to sit down and unravel it, realize where it comes from, and it comes from a pure place. And that's really where we want to go to today, And we want to talk about hint background if you're viewing. the stuff that nobody really talks about, and it's a very important subject. That's tall poppy syndrome.
Yeah, mate.
It's
a big
real.
It's real, and we talked about it offline, and it is one of those things that I lived overseas for many years. People know about it. People know about New Zealanders as well, and how much we get into this. So the whole modest Kiwis are very modest, and Kiwis are very this, and always downplaying everything. Like never wanting to stand up and say, "Man, I'm the best at that shit," or "I crushed that," or "That was awesome," or I use the example of as a kid, and I reckon think about how many dreams weren't brought into fruition because of not having the confidence or being too afraid to say what you really wanted to do or be. Like the whole, imagine standing up as a 12-year-old and saying, "I'm going to be an All Black when I grow up. That's my mission. I'm going to do everything I can to be an All Black." Like maybe 12, you might be young enough to get away with it, but when you get a little bit older, imagine like maybe one or two people would be on your side. Everyone else would just be like, "What a show off, Dick. Like, what are you doing, mate? Like, like you arrogant bastard. Like, you can't." It's such an interesting thing, that we do this tall poppy. You experienced anything personally, bro, with regards to this?
Oh, look, you see it all around, and it is. I mean, it's tough. Again, the stunning examples that we have talked to, I guess, and that first and foremost comes to mind. People just trying to excel at what they do. But that point that you just raised is really interesting. It's just another play on it, which is why we need to talk about it, right? So the opportunity that people are just chasing their dreams. Richard McCaw, wrote down what he wanted to be on a piece of paper. And let's just go back, and if he goes back in time and everybody that laughed at that dream, and here we are decades later, one of the greatest All Black / rugby players in the history of the game. He wrote it down. He believed in himself. He kept chasing his dream despite the people that are laughing, despite the doubters. That's their stuff to carry. And again, we can reference back to those other chats we had. Don't let anybody stamp on your dream based on their own experience or negativity or lack of willpower or horsepower or desire, because people don't have to get it. People don't have to understand it. If it's true to you, and I had this conversation with a person this week. I said, in regards to instructing, if it becomes part of a desire for you and your heart and your head is telling you to do it, do it. Do it. Don't worry what anybody else has said. We've talked to this. These things come to you for a reason. And don't think about the end goal, but the process is the stuff that we fall in love with. The process is where we learn. The steps we take is where we learn, and we learn to embrace that. And we fall in love with the grind, But yeah, it's interesting. I feel with celebrity, there's an element to people that want to be famous, but the other part of that is, with celebrity comes that tall poppy, and people just queue up to wait to see you fail. People that don't have the stones, the resolve, that desire, that passion, the work ethic, the tenacity to get where those people have gotten, to get to the top of your game globally, nationally, regionally, wherever it is, in your classroom. The desire, people will always try and tear you down. That's their shit to carry. All we can do is coach them and lead by example. And I think that's a really important thing too. Despite the haters, you don't have to prove them wrong, right? You don't have anything to prove, but all you have to do is be the best version of yourself, fulfill a long-time dream by just chasing it, mate. The dog will always chase the postman. Might not ever catch it, but you bet. The next day the dog will chase again. But yeah, man, I can't say I've witnessed it firsthand, because you do close yourself off to a lot of that stuff.
Yeah.
But it's everywhere. Classrooms, it's everywhere. People don't want to excel. Actually, when I say I haven't seen examples, I have, and I see it in classrooms in reference to people who are slightly different, who will get ostracized or picked on. And you pointed it out actually previously, because people will hassle you about the things that you're actually good at, about, you know, about if you're handsome or beautiful or tall or all of these wonderful characteristics. People will actually try and go get you on the things that are marvelously wonderful and unique about you. Get fucked.
Yeah.
Like, seriously.
Yeah. It's mate. It is hilarious, eh? And it's that whole. It's so important. For me, it's another thing we're revisiting now, because again, you are right. The more you mature and go on, you sort of shut it out. You don't even know. I mean, there's a lot of things in my world that maybe some people would notice, but I don't even notice them, because you're so like certain energy you just don't even care about anymore, right? Like a dirty look or a comment or anything. I don't care. No energy goes in that direction. But now you have kids, right? And kids go through the school, and you can see like that whole making yourself feel small so others don't feel bad about their lives or themselves. And there's a real weird balance around that, where it's kind of like you can't really show, you know, there's showing off, sure, being a little arrogant little shit, but then there's also just being proud of something you've done or something that you have or you're doing, but you don't want to talk about it because you'll make others around you not feel good, for example. And again, as I said, there are some situations where it is purely awareness. You're not going to go and show off about a certain thing in a certain situation, because again, you will come off looking like an asshole. But there are times that it's like, look, be confident in yourself, be confident with what you're doing, and don't try to pretend you're bad at something, which is what some kids will do, so others can feel good. Now, again, situation, right? With my kids, sure, I will let them beat me at a game we're playing, because I want them to experience success, and then in turn want to keep trying and keep playing. If you smash your kids in a game of rugby on the field and they're like 4 years old, sooner or later they're gonna be like, what's the use here, right? So there's a really fine balance. Yeah, it's a funny one, and that's why I find all these new learnings come when you have kids now, and you've got to teach them how to handle these situations and to try to get through with it. But it's all confidence, isn't it? It's all about being confident and being able to state what you want and show that intention and then stick to it. I wish I was able to do that when I was younger.
Yeah, the environment within the environment, people who genuinely care about you, who know you, who see you for who you are, who support your desires, who back you up on the challenges like we do for this, bro. We push each other and challenge each other and support each other no matter what. And if it's a check-in just to see that we're okay, man, that's the vibe, eh? I think the thing too is, it's easy to look at someone and go, and Glenn's a great example. Like, you see this absolute machine and people go, oh, geez, I want to be where he is. Or Sheena, she gets on the stage of the Olympic. Geez, I want to be where she is. But again, going back to that, work is invisible. People don't see it. And the same for, even group fit instruction. You run a class, you're doing well, you've got all these connections. It's years and years of relationship building, of work. No one sees it. No one sees, going on a watt bike and winding out technique and intervals and a process, a plan to get fitter, to always develop technically, physically, mentally, spiritually even. No one ever sees it nor appreciates it. All they see is the end result and say, I want to take that. But the main thing is, and for me personally, what I used to do 100% is I used to look for outside not gratification, but recognition, for people to tell me that I was good, or to push myself to be at the top. So, I felt better about it without having the confidence to say, do you know what? I'm actually really fucking good at this. I put the time in. I had this conversation again, man. It's like, here we go. I'm having so many different conversations with different layers, but man, I work hard. No one sees it. No one sees me in the gym. No one sees me at home. No one sees the process I go through in terms of learning, the education, and people will make it look easy at times. It's not actually. It's that consistent. I can't say it's a grind when it comes to doing things you love, but it's that process. Everybody has it differently. Everybody will have their strengths, and things will come to them more easily than others, whether it's physically or mentally, or the ability to talk, or the ability to connect to people, which is an amazing it's an amazing skill, but we can learn it by having conversations, right? By opening up. Yeah, so I see that a lot. Oh, that should be me. Or hang on a second, you know, have you actually been working on everything? We talk about the importance of relationships. We talk about the importance of, you know, you are your brand. It takes years to develop a brand, and it'll take you 10 minutes to fuck it. Yeah, so are you being true to yourself? And people will never let you forget the 10 minutes.
No,
you know, eventually you get there, but it's up to you to leave that behind and just move on and develop and use it as a string to your bow, to your repertoire, you know, because we all, as we said, we go through challenges. We need it. That's how we grow. That's how we evolve. That's how we develop. And Sheena put it beautifully. If you haven't checked out episode 20, you know, we need challenge to evolve. That's how we got here to this beautiful space. We're not saying fast track to mindfulness and positivity, man. You know, to experience positivity or express positivity, you have to experience some of the negative stuff.
Oh, big time. Funny, eh, bro? I saw a video the other day on my Facebook popped up. Don't you love those old Facebook memories, eh? And
yeah, mate,
popped up,
do.
and it was I might have actually even shared it. It was one of my very first videos I did in a gym, and I'm talking to the camera, and I'm like, "Oh, this is my birthday workout." And it sort of reminded me of the time where I started making these videos way back in the day, and how bad I was. Like just the way I talked, everything about it was just so bad. I'm like, wow, how awesome is this? And that's like, you know, you've got to look back at where you've come. That's why it's awesome to have data points, and it goes with weight loss. It goes with everything. It's like, you don't know how much you've improved looking in the mirror today or listening to yourself speak today until you compare yourself to what you used to be like, right? And so, I mean, I was an English teacher for years in Korea, and I remember the first few times standing in front of a class being like, what am I doing here? Like, people think I enjoy being on a camera, I enjoy presenting, I enjoy doing whatever, but I haven't always been like that, mate, and it wasn't always a good experience. And again, it's so good having those things, to look back on and be like, look how far I've come. Holy shit, that is a different level. And I'm not embarrassed by that at all. I'm just like, I'm impressed. I'm like, that is amazing. So, you know, it's really cool to be able to look back on your journey, and we should all be doing it. Look back, see how far you've come, compare yourself to yourself, you know, how you were 10, 15, 20 years ago, and yourself in the future as well. I think it's so cool,
Acknowledge the journey, and you do it so beautifully, mate. You know, it comes naturally to you. But again, as you're saying, previously to that, without the repetition, you know, there are some things that you're like, holy shit, okay, trash. Can we delete that forever? Stuff like this is on the internet forever.
Oh, mate, so good.
Yeah, but I mean, we've got to break the mold, and I applaud anybody who has the desire, the willpower, and who challenges themselves to be the best at what they can be, who has a dream that they will chase relentlessly. Now, bear in mind, people, there's a couple of ways to do this. If you are taking on this mantle and say, yes, I have a dream that I want to chase, do it, but kind of never at the expense again of your own personal brand, or you don't have to break, hurt, destroy other people in the process. You know, there's plenty of room on the staircase for others. And I think as part of the journey, take the responsibility on of motivating others to follow you, not pushing others down to be on top, you know? So there's plenty of room at the top, mate. There's plenty of room through the gates. All you need to do is be the inspiration and be the energy. So people look at you instead of, you know, because obviously there are some success stories where people are just complete cocks, dicks, you know, and that's them. That's for them to carry. And when it comes the day when they're sitting, you know, when life slowly leaves the vessel that is their body, the regrets will be numerous in terms of the connections, the opportunities that they could have had, because it always comes back to, you know, I wish I had what? More money? Nah. I wish I had a nicer car at that moment. No, I wish I had my loved ones around me. I wish I'd been a better person. I wish I'd, motivated or energized more people. I wish I'd made a difference. And you can, starting day one.
Yeah.
I love that. Even people coming into the gym, right? Even people going into exercise, whether it's an instructor or a participant, there might be a couple of friends that think you're batshit crazy. Love that. I love that, right? But they'll come around to your way of thinking. But there are people that are motivated and inspired by you, all right? People that will laugh at you for going, God, you're off to the gym again. Don't tall poppy me, bro. You want to jump on this bandwagon because I'm heading to the top, health, fitness, and inspo. That's my gig. That's my vibe. Jump on. I've got room. Jump on board. So to all those people, like, never jump on someone for chasing their dream.
Oh yeah, mate. I experienced really when you open gyms, right? And as you know, as someone who works in fitness, it's an inspirational, it's an inspiring category. People always want to jump on board on, right? So I mean, you'll meet someone, then 2 weeks later on their Instagram is updated to personal trainer, or like people change all the time. It's one of those things people want to become. And when we opened all these gyms years ago in Korea, so many obviously coaches would come ahead and be like, Cody, I want to open my own place. And that's and so that's the progression, right? Those that are awesome that you hire, that you want to keep, 100%, they're going to go do their own thing. That's the reality, because they're awesome. And why would they work for you forever? It's sad, and you try to find ways to keep them in the radar. But people used to always say to me, like, what do you think about that? Like, they're going to go do their own thing. Don't you want to, like, isn't that intimidating to you? Won't they steal your members? Won't they take this and take that? And I'm like, look, man, this is, I love this. This inspires me. Like, I'm stoked that people are inspired by what we do to now want to go do it themselves. And I just used to find any way we could to help them do that. How can we help you get to where you want to go? They're going to go anyway, but how can I make it so that they're stoked, inspired, and happy about it? And there's people, but then of course I had people on my team, board of directors, for example, and people that hated it. And that's when you get a contract that has like a 2-year non-compete going through it, or things along those lines where you can't actually get out of this. They're going to lock you in for life, so that you've got no option and you have to wait for 2 years before you can do anything. And that's that whole other end of it. Like, I support it. Go ahead, do your thing. And then you've got the don't you dare. You're locked in for life, and stay away from it, because we're so intimidated by it. It's great experiences, eh?
Yeah, mate. Isn't it amazing? You talk about doing things that people have never done before, and there's so many stunning examples. And it doesn't matter what it is, whether it's a physical endeavor or a product or a brand. Once someone does it, people will replicate it or know that it can be done. Records, for example, easy. I think we talked about it before, mate. The 4-minute mile. As soon as that's broken, everybody starts to do it, because it's possible. And if we talk about limitations, right? We talk about limits. Who sets the limits? Are we being driven by limitations of others? We are, actually.
Yeah.
And that's again, that comes down to our environment. It's what we have access to. We have no idea how powerful we are, how creative, how courageous, until we're put in a situation where we need to use it. But we shy away from those situations because, well, I don't want to be successful. I don't want to stand out. It's the same thing. And going back, mate, to the earlier podcast with you, not wanting to put your hand up in class, like curling into a ball, saying, no, not me. Why? Even if you give the right answer, people will rib you. Oh, teacher's pet, like, the right answer. No one wants to be that person in class. Get fucked. Put your hand up, answer the question, own that shit. If you're in a situation where you are in a group of people and you see someone that is shining, excelling, you see someone that walks in that is beautiful, and someone tries to turn on them and turn that around into a negative, you shut that shit down, and you do it quickly. Yeah. Because we need to support each other as human beings, as souls, as spirits, as energy, as people. And that's how we get rid of this tall poppy bullshit. We just support each other, and we praise each other for excellence, right? We encourage excellence, and through that we inspire excellence. Taking the first step is one thing. Again, you create an army, a movement. If people are copying you, testament to you. Testament to you. And if you're following other people's limitations, check yourself, because you have no idea. If you look at a record for 100 meters, or if you're quick, if you're a sprinter, if you do anything like that, and all you've got is this fixation that the I don't know what the world record is currently, 9.6 or 9.7 seconds. It's just about running as fast as you possibly can, or as we talked about it, the person that slows down last. But if you run with a record in the back of your mind, you'll never, ever break it. You go to the start line with a clean slate each and every time. You approach the bar, it's just weight, right? Whether it's got 2 plates or 3 plates, it is just weight. The process of the lift is important, the engagement, the technical aspects, all of the things you've trained for, the hours, the countless hours, the invisible stuff that people do not see. That's the stuff that'll get the bar off the ground. That's the stuff that'll break that tape for you first. That's the stuff that'll get that little product that you're thinking of developing into the market and in a packet and on the shelves. Your passion, your heart, your success, your desire is the stuff that people cannot replicate. If you think, I go into a cafe, geez, I want to be a cafe owner, then you think, hang on a second, what's great about the cafe I go to? Now the owner knows everybody, delightful, knows my coffee, knows my name, tells me when the specials are, but knows my absolute favorite. Hey, we have your favorite today. Fantastic. Knows where I like to sit. Gives me options. I'm like, man, that's amazing. Treats the staff beautifully. Gives them a license to be themselves. And Simon Sinek talks about that, about management being supportive, but being on the ground, walking around, with an apron on. You've got to be the brand, live the brand, express the brand through every pore, and the brand is you. You sit with the brand. So how cool, man, that to think that tomorrow, or even today, after this podcast, when you walk out the door, that you have the opportunity to inspire someone by an action, by a conversation, by following a passion in your family. How many times do you see, I decided to do a triathlon, and then all of a sudden you've got a couple of people in your family or friends that are doing a triathlon, or you've decided to go for a walk. How many people do, okay, we'll do the escarpment track, or we'll go and do Milford Sound, or all of those types of things, that you're bringing people along on this journey and lifting them up and teaching them the true value and success. Of course, it's the view at the top, but when you look around, it's the people that you have with you. Yeah. And if you're going to be an absolute cock and you get to the top and you look around and you've got no one, then, mate, there's your problem. Right? You're not part of the solution.
I love that. And I think it's really cool that if you take someone's referral or someone's idea, I like to acknowledge it as well. If someone goes, oh, mate, take that walk up at bloody whatever, I'll go and do it the following weekend. And I'll make sure that I tell them, hey, bro, check this out. And I'll send a photo and say, awesome, thanks for the recommendation. But even just today, I was at the gym for some reason. I saw a guy that reminded me of the guy that ran a gym, my first gym I ever worked in, like 20 years ago, out of university. And it just reminded me of him. I was like, you know what? I forgot about this guy. He's the first guy. When I trained with him, we trained legs and squats, and he smashed me to smithereens, and I couldn't walk for about a week. And he was sort of like one of those first people in my lives that, he managed me at this gym when I was, way back before I went overseas. So I messaged him today. I found him. I creeped him, found him on Facebook. I added him as a friend. He accepted it, and then I messaged him back, and I didn't ask any questions. I just did a purely drop in, yo, bro, just wanted to drop by and say thank you for back in the day, mate. You were my first, the first job I ever officially had in a gym, and you managed me, and I'm still in the game now. I appreciate you, and I hope you're well. And he wrote back another big old spiel, and he's like, thanks for your words, man. I've got a bit of a sore heart at the moment. Like, he's got some things he's dealing with, and but it was like, how cool is that sort of shit? Like, gratitude out of nowhere. And I just exercised on that, and I try to, when that comes in, those sort of things come in, I try to do it, because it's that massive impact, for him. He probably wouldn't even remember me until, he wouldn't have thought about me for years. And here I am, just like, jump in there, mate. And by the way, I still talk about how smashed my legs were after that workout we did together. It's great stories, and it's just great stuff, like lift people up, lift them back up, get into it. It's cool, man. I love it.
Yeah, the opportunity, because it does, life goes super fast and you get caught up in the moment. And when you don't have an opportunity to say thank you, sometimes you regret that stuff.
Yeah.
People move on or pass on. So if you do have the opportunity just to thank someone for something that has had an impact, just do it.
Yeah.
And the amazing thing, like, you know, I don't go through life just going round. So people will say, "Hey, man, that was great." You know, I again, you know, go back to I just want to encourage people to be the best they can be and be all they can be. And an interesting thing I referred back to today, you know, people come in with they're mindful of what they want, okay, versus what they want to be, even stretching to what they need to be. But mate, we're pushing it even further to be what you're meant to be, and that's a transition that you need to make over physically. It's mentally and spiritually that you need to open yourself up to a whole lot more that's happening. So being all that you are meant to be. Now, if you are in charge of a formula or a group of people, make it safe for people to test that platform. You know, because that's it. That's the opposite of the tall poppy syndrome. You know, you're not just wanting yourself to be successful. What you've got is a desire for everybody around you to be successful, to feel success in different elements of their life. Man, they might take one sentence, one word, one moment out and share that, and that is the gold. Fuck, that's the gold. I just, you know, for me now, especially with that, I'm just in love with the process. Coming up to Auckland again was amazing, because I've been up, we used to come up and do these filmings all the time, and it filled our cup, you know, and it's just the connections that we made over a decade ago that we still have today. That's what you call real connections. But the check. But the difference now is the ability to sit down and connect and chat and open up, because there's always the superficial stuff that you need to get through. Do people like me because I am at the top of what I do? Or, you know, and there's a lot of people that are super successful in Les Mills. You know, even chatting to Glenn, just you know, the best of the best, and a stunning bloke, mate. But just being able to open up and connect with him on a different level has been incredible. Seeing one of the participants who became a teacher, who is now coaching on one of the DVDs, which is big, you know, it's a 1%er in terms of Les Mills and instruction. People have a burning desire to do it. She had the opportunity, and that was why we were there. That was the moment. You know, I didn't even know that she was going to be there. It was a kind of a last minute thing, and she kept it very quiet. But to be there in that moment and share that and see her shine and be successful was amazing. To bask in that rather than, you know, go through that, why isn't that me? That the tall poppy syndrome drags out of you. Was delighted to have the opportunity to witness someone just break into a whole new level of self-belief and to shine on an international stage, because it just, once it drops, it's there forever, and it goes on and on. And I just caught up with her afterwards and testament to the person that she was. I said, this is your moment. You don't have to worry about what happens after it. Let's just enjoy this. Let's just enjoy now. We're here for you. And again, we had no idea, but something brought us there. And the energy I got from that, and my job now is, you know, getting obviously on, and I'm coaching and mentoring instructors that are the age of my children, which I love, and I take that responsibility. You know, I have a deep connection with that responsibility. But my job is to, you know, there's longevity if you have passion. You know, if you truly believe in what you're doing, if you look after yourself, yes, you'll have to navigate the highs and lows, but if you have people that you surround yourself with that believe in you and will support you, you will do it. Commit yourself, not just say, oh, this is the flavor of the month. Turn your desire into a lifetime practice and fill that cup and give as much of it as you can back. Because that's the thing, it's the being of service. And even our hairdressers, we were talking about it. They are of service. People walk in, they always walk out feeling better. You get a chat.
Oh, yeah.
But you walk out with a clean, obviously, Cody's once every 2 days, mate. But
got a machine at home now, mate. Hey, I remember what Jace was saying. Hey, remember Jace Tapatu, when we had interviewed, he was talking about, like, he is 100% authentic in everything he does, because it gives everyone around him permission to be the same. And that was like, I was like, that's awesome, eh? Like you walk into a room, because that's what people are waiting for. They're waiting for someone to just be like, look at that person. They're just being themselves. You know, they're not hiding away. They're just being so authentic and open and so cool. And that's when people are like, all right, let's relax and do the same. You know, it's such a powerful way to think. And yeah, that comment from him was very impactful to me in that episode, that awesome episode we did.
Yeah, oh, mate, my cup runneth over with that. Such a beautiful human. People that, again, haven't seen that, go back to the episode.
Yeah.
Jay Sapatu, an amazing human, stunning bloke, doing so much, giving back. And I thought about it last night, because in terms of being yourself, and interesting, because same for me, perception, because I'm friendly. My nature is I'm inquisitive, and and that can be confused for confidence, which can be confused for arrogance. So people that don't know me see me in situations where I'll come and ask questions and I'll introduce myself, and they're like, oh, that guy's confident. It's probably been the opposite, but I'm inquisitive.
Yeah.
You know, and I want to learn from the absolute best. I've got a desire to learn, to listen. You know, I love speaking to people. I love connecting. I love hearing more about people, and it's accelerated now because we're going way deeper into conversations. I love those moments. But yeah, my inquisitive nature has always been misconstrued. And then even to a point where someone actually told me, you know, I thought you were this, but you're completely the opposite. I'm like, well, holy fuck, hallelujah, here we are. And don't second guess yourself. You know, some people won't get it. We've talked about this again before, and we'll roll over it again. Some people don't get it. They don't have to. If you're being true to yourself, but mate, if you're being good, you know, be a good person. Don't be a dick. There's no need to be like that. You know, there's no need to be negative. Be positive. We're energy. We're all energy. Let's make it positive, man. And again, this tall poppy syndrome, we can wipe it off the face of the earth, because we all have the opportunity to rise up like a field of poppies. You know, I can see one or two, man. I see one or two. That one's annoying. We want to chop that one off. But look at it, basking in the sunlight. Basking in the sunlight.
Yeah,
not casting shade on the others.
And you've got to stay true, because like we've talked about it, when there's someone, not necessarily bringing someone down, but if you're in the environment where someone's like not reacting well to you or the situation, which is most of the time it's not actually you, like, remember, we don't take it personally. Stay the path of what you represent and what you believe and how you are, because they'll switch around. I've got a guy right now that's I've been talking to a client, and he wasn't too happy, let's say a couple of months ago, but mate, he's my best mate on the phone now. I just stayed the path. I didn't react. I didn't take anything personally. Just stayed there, supported, keep talking to him, keep building that relationship, and now we're best mates again, because it wasn't me and what was going on in my world that was causing him to act that way. And I knew that if we just keep building up, we can build him back up and get him back on the team, get him back in the right direction. And it worked. So we've got to be real careful not to take things, to take things personally. I mean, again, we talk about this all the time. But also with those around you, if their energy is negative and they feel like, they're starting to build, take everyone else down around you, then hey, stay the path. He'll come back up. We'll get them back.
The confidence just to retain that energy, positive energy, and even negative circumstances is a biggie. But you've got to be courageous, and like you say, stick to your guns, because if you are true to yourself, you don't have to fall into bad patterns where I need to be this person in this environment. I'm going to chop and change, and people go, "Fuck, who is that person?" Because I've seen a different side. Just be true to yourself. I just can't reiterate. I meet so many people, and each of them have just a wonderful characteristic. I see so many people that don't believe in themselves. My job is to assist them with that and give them the courage to know that they're actually okay, that we're all different, and that's what we should celebrate. But unfortunately, human nature, society has somehow conditioned us to think the absolute opposite. I've experienced it firsthand with seeing people dogging on my beautiful children. Because they're different, but they're different in an exceptional way. Kindest, most caring humans on the planet. And I've talked about this before, who I'm super proud of. My wife is an absolute firecracker, the master connector, knows everybody, knows everything. That's her. That's natural to her. There's nothing, not a fake bone in her body, and I love that, and that's why, you know, I protect that. I worship that side of her, you know, and that's what we should all do for each other. Celebrate it. You see someone shine, mate, just it'll resonate. You know, it comes off you. When people are successful, the energy, when people are confident, the energy is different, the shoulders are up, the postures are up. Celebrate every chance we can. Celebrate people being successful. The Olympics are on. FFS, the Olympics. And who thought that was going to happen? I didn't. The 2020 Olympics in 2021.
Yeah. That's right.
All the clothing's done, so you can't. All the clothing's done for 2020.
Piece of tape over it,
brand, the medals, it's being pumped, it's being printed. You know, it's our athletes sleeping on cardboard beds, but they are there. Let's get in behind it. The NZ team. Let's celebrate their successes. The successes being there on the world stage, the work they have done just to qualify for the Olympics. You know, and the result will be what the result. We're fortunate enough in this country to have some amazing world-class athletes that are at the absolute top. We have others that are fighting to get there. You know, we are up against countries with hundreds of millions of dollars in terms of budget. To that, we can't compete. But what can we compete in? Passion, heart, commitment, tenacity, that number 8 fencing wire mentality that got Sir Edmund Hillary and Sherpa Tenzing to the top of Everest. That's what we're about, mate. That's what we need to celebrate, and we need to take it global, you know? And when they look at the picture of the Earth from the moon, all they'll see is New Zealand shining.
It's quite cool too, because another common term now, after, you know, growing up in school and etc. It's always don't be a goody good, you know, don't, you know, put brown nose, all these things about like sucking up to people and they would try to bring you down. But now the most common thing everyone says is don't be a hater. Stop being a hater, bro. You know, and you hear it in a circle. Someone's like, oh, that guy, whatever. Like, hey, bro, why are you being a hater? Even my kids will say it. So it's kind of like a more common thing to, like, when someone around you is starting to hate about someone being up here, or at least those around will say, yo, why are you being a hater? It's such a cool thing to that people start calling out at. It's like, mate, that's not the way to do it. Stop hating, bro.
And you can turn conversations around, You can turn conversations around. You hear someone talking about something negatively about a person, then you can switch it and turn it into a massive positive and say, hey, yeah, man, isn't that awesome? You know, so be that person that pivots a conversation, that mentality, and shed light on the little things. We've all got little quirks and traits that make us all different. That's unique. If we were all, you know, walked around looking the same, it wouldn't be so bad, mate, if we look like Cody, to be honest. You know, tall and muscular and shredded. But I mean, let's not dwell on this tall poppy. Let's not live in that space anymore. If you're listening, tell everybody to listen. Tall poppy, out you go. We're a field and we're going to grow together. We're going to nurture each other, care for each other. And that's what plants do too. I'm reading the hidden life of trees, how plants communicate. Next level stuff. Again, it was recommended to me by Stu on the Air New Zealand flight that I took to Auckland. So thanks, bro. Thanks for the recommendation. Who knew? Trees communicate.
Love it, mate.
So yeah, mate. I mean, we're no different, right? We're a living entity on this earth, part of the earth, and we can make it a way better place to be by just supporting, by uplifting each other. And again, these athletes, these Kiwi athletes that are fighting amongst the world's best and still giving it everything, that is the victory. And I just want to salute every single Kiwi athlete that is over there. Praise to you for the work that you have done to get there. Thank you for representing, for strapping on the silver fern. And I know the pressure of representing the country. I've done it at amateur level, not a professional level, but the pressure at a professional level on the world stage is immense. Just to say congratulations, and we at the D.M.C podcast are super proud of all of you for the effort and the mana and the history that you carry with you, that only Kiwis can carry. It's our special way. That's our gift. That's our gift. And that's why people love us, right? That's where our passport can get us most places, or used to be able to before the COVIDs.
That's exactly right, bro. So,
Very good, mate.
yeah, man.
Woo!
So,
Hot.
team, we're coming in hot, big dog. So, yeah, and those of you that are listening, we have given our first, announced our first prize winners, didn't we? We did that last week. So we'll be in contact about those and getting those out to everybody. If you haven't yet, please like and subscribe. Please follow us on Instagram. Please post any questions, feedback, anything. And like I said to you offline the other day, bro, there are people that are listening that we have no idea that are listening. And one guy at my local gym, he was there early in the morning, and I just sent him a message and said, mate, respect for you for being at the gym at 5 a.m, mate. That's awesome. And it's not that empty when I'm there. And he's like, no worries, man. I'm up to episode 8 of the podcast. Keep it going. I love it. And I'm going to get Atomic Habits this week, which he did. And he also tagged us in it. But it's so cool, bro. It's so cool. There are people everywhere that are getting into the game, starting to hit some DMCs and getting, it's awesome, mate. I'm super proud, bro? Super proud.
Oh, super proud. We've got some again, some goals, some ideas, a little bit of morning motivation, maybe a few little tricky coffee cups that we'll be able to share with you. We're going to hit the merch. So if you guys want merch, let us know. We can pump some stuff. We'll get a channel that makes it accessible and affordable. We're pushing it out there. So they are extreme limited edition copies of our merch. The episodes, one person came to me recently and said, look, I was feeling this way. So I looked down the library and I chose that one. And that's what I needed. And I'm saying, perfect. That is exactly what you need to do. If you're just starting your journey, if you've gone back to episode 1 and you've arrived here, thank you so much for your support. If you're one of the mad crew supporters that have been listening, punching up every single episode as it comes and we see it drop straight away and you guys are on it, thank you so much. It means the world to us. This is something that we just, I just feel we're meant to be in this space, talking to you guys, doing this. If there's stuff you want to hear, if there's stuff you want to see, let us know. Big shout out to the Welly peeps, because hopefully next week, the big dog, Chansey, Mr. Cody Hunter, should be in the capital city. We will be throwing down the D.M.C podcast in the capital city. He will be coming to the gymnasium with me. So if you want the meet and greet experience,
that's your chance.
Need Cody to sign your baby. But this time, removable markers, mate. Well, yes, yeah. Okay, this time. Yeah, the last one.
Not the tattoo pen?
No. Not the Sharpie permanent.
Oh, mate, I'm fired up. I'm excited. So, yeah, we'll definitely make that happen, bro. I love it.
Grateful, as always, for the time, for the ears, for the eyes, and for the vibes. Remember, lift each other up, praise each other. You see success, you celebrate it. You want to be successful, fucking go for it and inspire and take as many people as you can with you. There is room for all of us. So just go get it, peeps. Episode 21.
Hell yeah. Have a good one, everybody. Thanks again for tuning in. Stay cool, and we'll see you all again very soon. Peace.